start staining this project here. So now you can see we've got the Torahs built. We spent a couple hours building these Torahs, and what we're going to do is we're going to put a stain on these 4 items. So I'm going to move these aside. Now I use these cheap plastic throwaway gloves. They're about a penny a piece. I'm going to make sure I shake this up as hard as I can, and it's a stain. And then I'm going to stain the wood. Now you only need a little bit on this rag. You don't need a lot. A little bit goes a long way. You want to put a little coat. And then what you want to do is you kind of want to wipe it after you coat a little bit. It's not a paint. You don't want to leave a real thick layer. Just enough to give it some color. You see that? I'm going to do this side of the handle now. Like I said, you only need a little tiny bit. You don't need a lot of it. A little bit goes a long way. You want to make sure you get in between all of the little crevices. And you really want to make sure that it's a well-ventilated area. This kind of reminds me of like a piece in a chessboard. A piece on a chessboard. It looks like a queen or something, or a pawn. It's really kind of pretty, actually. Now, this seems like the grain is going against us, and if you go this way, the grain goes with you, so it seems like it's easier to get the stain onto the wood. The longer you leave it on there before you wipe it, the darker it becomes, and we don't really want it too dark, or I don't want it too dark. Just enough to give it a light. See how thick that is? And even if it's a little dark in some areas and light in some areas, that's okay, because it makes it look a little more rustic or older, more aged. Maybe like it has a little bit of an antique look to it. Now you don't have to do the centerpiece, this piece here, because we're going to wrap that with paper. This is very pretty. It's a very pretty color. It's kind of a reddish color. The label says red oak. It's very pretty looking. Now if you do want it darker, you can always let this dry and then restain it. Another coat. Alright, I'm done with that one. Let you see how that looks. Okay, I'm going to do all 4 on each side, so that's 8 times. And you'll see it when it's all finished. Alright, now you can see Zoe, my daughter, is working on one of the headbands for some of the people in the music video. Say hi, Zoe.
Hi, Zoe. Let me figure it out first. One. So
here's Zoe filming. This is Zoe sewing. It's a new sewing machine for Zoe. And on the shelves, we have a lot of candy. We're hoarding for the zombie apocalypse. Now you can see I did 2 I stained 2 of these here, and I just wanted to show you what those look like. I did stain even the inside piece. I know that's not important, nobody's really going to see that, but it just makes it look overall even more impressive. Let me go get the other 2. And what I did with the other 2, let me scoot these back a little bit. Now what I did with the other 2, I used the same stain, and that's a red oak stain from Rust-Oleum. I don't know why it's wanting to move. I guess the gravity is pulling it down. Just set that right there. And then what I did was I just added a little bit of black spray paint. Let me show you how I did that. And what I did was I just added a touch of black spray paint. I didn't use a lot, and I'll show you what I did. I just added a little bit like that. And the reason I did that was because I wanted to give the Torahs a different look. I didn't want them to be identical, so one is a lighter color and one is a darker color. Now that's finished, so what we're going to do now is we're going to add some paper, and I'm going to draw some letters in Hebrew scripture, Hebrew letters, and put it on paper, and we'll be finished. The paper I'm using is a paper that painters use when they paint a wall or a ceiling. It's a very thick paper, and if you stand on it, you're not going to tear it or rip it. But it is very heavy. If I wrap the pole that is in the center with this paper, let's say 50 times, these Torah scrolls will be very heavy, and they don't need to be that heavy, and they don't need to be wrapped 50 times. I started using bubble wrap to wrap the pole. I've probably wrapped the pole 3 times with the paper, and in between each layer of paper is bubble wrap. Now the Hebrew letters, pretty much all of those letters are real Hebrew letters, but the words are not real words in Hebrew. I didn't want to be that accurate because I know in the video we're only going to see the scroll for maybe about 10 seconds. Alright, just wanted to show you the finished product.